Iraq economic news and points to ponder Sunday afternoon, July 13, 25. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com blog and become our supporter on Patreon. Financial expert. The dollar's stability depends on calm abroad and the U.S. Federal Reserve. Time. The 13th of July 2025 reading. 315 times. Economic. Al-Farad News. Financial expert Salah Nouri confirmed that the stability of the dollar exchange rate in the local market depends largely on the policies of the Central Bank of Iraq. Nouri told Farad News that the internal economic situation is moving in a direction that provides a kind of balance in the exchange market, thanks to the measures of the central bank. However, he pointed out that external factors such as developments in the security situation in the region and the policies of the U.S. Federal Reserve, the U.S. Central Bank, still cast a shadow over market activity and could lead to potential changes towards an increase in the exchange rate in the future. Nouri explained that any external escalation or sudden change in global monetary policies could quickly be reflected in the financial markets in Iraq. The selling price in exchange shops in the local markets in Baghdad reached 142,000 dinars for $100, while the buying price reached 140,000 dinars for $100. In Erbil, the selling price reached 140,850 dinars for $100, and the buying price was 140,750 dinars for $10. The Iraqi Chamber of Commerce wins the Best Committees Award in the world. July 13, 2025 Baghdad, Ibtihal Al-Arabi. The International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, has awarded the Iraqi Chamber of Commerce the award for the best performing national committees worldwide. The Federation of Iraqi Chambers of Commerce, FICC, stated in a statement yesterday that, in a qualitative achievement, the ICC has honored the Iraqi Chamber of Commerce with an award given to the best performing national committees worldwide, noting that this honor comes as a result of the efficient and effective implementation of the annual plan for 2024-2025, reflecting Iraq's commitment to strengthening its international position on the global trade map. International trade. He added, on the sidelines of the annual week, the first anniversary of Iraq's official accession to the International Chamber of Commerce was celebrated. An important step towards building strategic partnerships and enhancing the business environment in Iraq. The International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, was founded in 1919 in Paris, and Iraq obtained full membership in 2024. It is noteworthy that Iraq, the Iraqi National Committee of the International Chamber of Commerce, participated in the annual week of the International Chamber of Commerce in Paris. From June 17 to 20, which was attended by more than 60 countries from various national committees from around the world. The annual week included several activities, including the World Trade Policy Conference, the World National Committees Strategies Day, specialized workshops on arbitration and the Agri-Food Initiative, the annual meeting of the World Council of the International Chamber of Commerce, a workshop on the Center for International Entrepreneurship, and the regional meeting for the West Asia and North Africa region. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, represented by the Iraqi Embassy in Paris and the Ministry of Trade, Department of Foreign Economic Relations, supported Iraq's accession to the International Chamber of Commerce and continues to monitor the activities of the Iraqi National Committee's program for the International Chamber of Commerce. Integrity Commission arrests former government bank manager in Mason for embezzling nearly $250 billion dinars. Baratha News Agency 17920250713 Today, Sunday, July 13, 2025. The Federal Integrity Commission was able to arrest a former official at a government bank in Mason on charges of embezzlement, damage, and squandering public funds amounting to nearly $250 billion dinars. In a statement, the authority said that its efforts to track the movements of the fugitive convict, Ebtisam Kamal Nasser, the former director of the Agricultural Bank, supported by the information it received, resulted in locating her place of residence after extensive searches and investigations. The commission noted that the team, composed of the Mason Investigation Office, was able, after moving to the convict's residence in the Al-Zubair district in Basra, to arrest her and execute the arrest warrant issued against her, with the support of the technical efforts of the Falcons intelligence cell. noting that a formal report was prepared regarding the operation and presented, along with the accused, to the competent courts in Mason Governorate. She continued, referring to the cases in which the convict was convicted, as the competent court, after reviewing the evidence and proof in the cases it considered and found them sufficient and convincing to convict her, had previously sentenced her in absentia to imprisonment in accordance with the requirements of Article 316 of the Penal Code. The Commission added that the total sentences issued against the convict amounted to 37 years in prison, while the total amounts that the Court of Subject Matter ruled to return in those cases amounted to 211,737,649,265, 211 billion dinars, noting that there are 10 other cases under investigation against her. Government advisor. U.S. tariffs are an opportunity to activate the joint agreement. Money and Business Economy News. Baghdad. The Prime Minister's advisor for investment affairs, Mohammed al-Najjar, affirmed on Sunday that the recent U.S. tariffs imposed on Iraqi products represent an opportunity to activate the joint economic agreement between the two countries, while noting that they do not affect the volume of trade exchange. Al-Najjar said, "The customs duties imposed by the United States on Iraqi products can be transformed from a challenge into a real opportunity to support the national economy and enhance joint cooperation." He explained that the new customs duties do not currently have a direct impact on the volume of trade between Iraq and the United States, given that Iraqi exports to the United States primarily rely on oil, which is not subject to such duties. He noted that, if Iraq diversifies its exports in the future, the impact will be significant, which calls for investing in this step to strengthen economic dialogue between the two countries. He added, "These developments represent an opportunity to activate the provisions of the Iraq-US Framework Agreement, the economic aspects of which have not yet been implemented due to U.S. producers' lack of familiarity with the Iraqi market compared to markets in Asia, Latin America, and Europe, in addition to the challenges facing Iraqi importers, such as high transportation costs, difficulty obtaining visas, and weak direct transportation routes." Al-Najjar explained that the Iraq Development Fund, whose idea was proposed about 7 months ago in cooperation with the American side, is considered one of the important tools for encouraging trade exchange and joint investment, noting that there is a response from American authorities to this approach. He stressed that work is underway to reach advanced stages in establishing this fund, which will provide a direct channel linking Iraqi importers with American products and, in turn, enable American investors to enter the Iraqi market. He stated, "We view these developments as an important opportunity to strengthen the national economy and open broader horizons for cooperation and partnership between Iraq and the United States, in a way that serves the interests of both parties." Iraq surpasses Saudi Arabia in oil exports to the U.S. Economy, July 13, 2025. Mawazin News. Follow-up. The U.S. Energy Information Administration announced, on Sunday, a decline in Iraqi oil exports to the United States during the past week. The administration said in a statistic reviewed by Mawazin News, that the average U.S. imports of crude oil during the past week from 10 major countries amounted to 5.416 million barrels per day, a decrease of 772,000 barrels per day compared to the previous week, which averaged 6.188 million barrels per day. It added that Iraq's oil exports to the United States amounted to an average of 164,000 barrels per day, a decrease of 48,000 barrels per day compared to the previous week, which averaged 212,000 barrels per day. Quote, "The administration also indicated that the largest oil revenues to the United States during the past week came from Canada, at an average of 3.766 million barrels per day, followed by Ecuador at an average of 441,000 barrels per day, followed by Mexico at an average of 414,000 barrels, from Brazil at an average of 231,000 barrels per day, and from Saudi Arabia at an average of 148,000 barrels per day." According to the table, U.S. crude oil imports from Colombia averaged 124,000 barrels per day, from Libya 90,000 barrels per day, from Nigeria 38,000 barrels, and from Venezuela 25,000 barrels per day. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com blog and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com